Views expressed in the videos are my observation, analysis of events, persons based on principles of astrology. It's not my intent to predict, forecast absolute outcomes, only suggest how they may unfold. Nothing is set in stone. I could be wrong, but often I'm right. My desire is not to promote fear, only inform about what we see unfolding. It is our wish to prepare our subscribers for events that could affect them, their family, their goals, and their future, to help to prepare for what you may already suspect is happening, and to send a warning shot across the bow and raise a flag of concern. Our goal is to help, not hinder, in these perilous times, to inspire and offer possible direction, and to reveal that a greater plan and purpose are behind all that is happening. Eventually, we will see a brighter day. If you would like to show your appreciation for our work on these videos or this channel, and also the Knowing Whispers channel, you can always click on the word thanks at the bottom of all the videos. Hello everybody, it's Robert Cosmar of the Astrology of Life YouTube channel and also the YouTube channel Wisdom for Those Awakening. Today the title of my video is going to be Trump and Musk and the Fate of America. In this particular video that I'm going to be recording here for you, I'm going to be talking about the impact of both Trump and Musk upon the chart of the United States of America, which in effect will say something about the circumstances that we see and feel that are happening right now. Before I begin that though, I want to basically remind you that every Saturday from 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time that I do a live stream basically called Wisdom for Those That Are Awakening. For those of you that are awakening or that are concerned or that are interested in the process of awakening and you want to learn what this means and how this can help you through the strife, okay, and the fear that so many have expressed all across the United States, on the internet, on TV. The purpose of that particular support group is to help you to take control of your life and to help you to take control of the fear, all right, to show you how you can mitigate it, how you can overcome it, okay? And even though things around you might seem to be falling apart and crumbling, to be able to find the inner strength and certainty to be able to move forward and to do what you need to do to see to it that you accomplish your life purpose, okay? All right, now getting back to the chart here. This inner chart here is the accepted chart of the United States of America. It's the one that most astrologers work with. There are a few others, but it seems like that this is the one that resonates the most when you're talking about things that happen in the United States of America. Outside here is the chart of Donald Trump, okay? And what I'm particularly interested in here, and the thing that struck me when I looked at the charts of both Trump and Musk, was the 10th house, because the 10th house has to deal with the goal, the ambition, the mission, so to speak, the purpose of a country, what their hopes and aspirations are, okay? And you'll notice up here that Neptune is in the 10th house. Donald Trump's Neptune is in the 10th house, fairly close to the midheaven. Now, something you need to understand about the chart of the United States of America. The time of 5:10 p.m. is not necessarily an exact time. As far as I can remember from the research that I did, that there was through time the impression that the document was signed towards the evening around dinner time, and it was rectified, and what the astrologers came up with was 5:10 p.m. So every 4 minutes the houses move 1 degree. So it's possible that this position here of the midheaven in the USA chart was closer to Neptune than what it shows right here, which would make the impact much stronger. In astrology, aspects that are close are very strong. They manifest outwardly in a very observable way. Okay, and for those that are Vedic astrologers who rely upon the exactness of aspects, they will tell you that this is the reason why this particular individual's life in this event was so observable and so noticeable. Okay, so keep that in mind. This could be closer to a conjunction with the 10th house, or it could possibly be a little further away. But the significance of this is simply this, okay? First of all, in Donald Trump's natal chart, his Neptune squares his Mercury, which is the reason astrologically why we see that he has a different view of reality, okay? Why he tends to lie and make things up and, do what he does, which you're all pretty much aware of. But from the standpoint of his effect upon the United States of America, and keep that in mind, that aspect of Neptune squaring Mercury, because it does come into play here. We're talking about the predestined impact of this individual upon this country. Okay, this country being the chart of the USA, which is what we're looking at here, and his Neptune. Okay, Neptune, of course, is called the dissolver. What Neptune does in a person's horoscope, if you're talking about an individual's life, is that something will happen that's very strange and peculiar to their understanding. And it will cause them a great deal of anxiety because of the fact they feel very vulnerable and helpless. Okay? It's like throwing an Alka-Seltzer into water and watching it dissolve. Okay? Alka-Seltzer, in a sense, being the person's beliefs, okay, or their ideas about how things should be, their programming. And then Neptune comes along here and it totally obliterates that way of thinking and believing, which creates the vulnerability and the anxiety that the person goes through. So in this case here, what we're seeing in effect is the predestined effect of Donald Trump upon the United States of America in the 10th house, its future, okay, its purpose, its goals and objectives. All right, he is to function as a dissolver, okay, of all that is known and has been experienced up until now. And of course, this creates a tremendous amount of anxiety and a tremendous amount of fear, but also a tremendous amount of opportunity for conscious growth for those that don't buy in to the fear. Okay, and if you had a chance over on Substack to watch or to read the post that I put over there about cautioning you to demonizing people such as Donald Trump. I think Bill Barr made that comment a long time ago, that what he saw in regards to Donald Trump was that people had a tendency to demonize him. Okay? And it's understandable, okay, that people would think that way, feel this way, because they feel vulnerable, they feel like their control over their life essentially is falling apart. The truth of that is that it's also an opportunity for conscious growth for people that they would have never experienced if that had not happened. But one of the biggest hang-ups that you will find, and I've mentioned this over on Substack and also in talking and counseling with folks, is that probably the worst thing you can get caught up in is hating Trump, hating MAGA, hating Elon Musk. Those emotions will hold you back from consciously evolving and from learning to trust what is going on, because Donald Trump and Elon Musk are simply tools of evolution. Yes, they are bringing a lot of anxiety and a lot of pain. They're bringing a lot of fear right to the surface, okay? But you have a way of dealing with that if you are focused within yourself, if you are seeking to consciously evolve and grow beyond your old beliefs and ideas about, literally about the reality that we live in. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, some of the other things that are noticed here in this chart, okay, you'll notice down here that Eris, Donald Trump's Eris, is placed in the fourth house, which of course relates to, um, you know, the home life of America. This would be essentially the um, outer running, the government, you know, business and things of that nature. The impact that he's having upon that is tremendous, okay? But this here, Eris, represents strife and discord, and it's opposing this Neptune up here. You can see it over here in the aspectarian, okay? So, and again, if you're a karmic astrologer, if you are an astrologer who believes in karma, fate, and destiny, and who can see the oneness in everything that's going on, you know that this describes exactly what's happening. Okay? Strife and discord, all right? Dissolving of old structures and old ways, okay, in regards to the future of America, all right? You can see here that Jupiter is conjunct Saturn, all right? So that's a protective influence, okay? That essentially means that in the dissolving of things, there's also some progressiveness, possibly, or ways of doing things that are not as devastating, even though for most people right now, they think of everything as being devastating, okay? Over here in the 8th house, you'll notice that Donald Trump's Pluto, okay, conjuncts the North Node. North Node relates to relationships with others, okay? So you see the impact that he's having in transforming and influencing others, businesses, other countries, okay? So this is what that's relating to, all right? Over here in the 7th house, you can see that Uranus, okay, here is in a wide conjunction to the Mars of the United States of America. This can be a dangerous placement because often Uranus and Mars indicates accidents, impulsiveness. We've seen Donald Trump make decisions, put out executive orders, and then having to rescind them because he realized, uh-oh, this is not a great idea. Okay? Another thing that I've mentioned in other videos too is the fact that you'll notice in the chart of the USA, in the house of other people's money, transformation, death, rebirth in a way, that both Donald Trump's Pluto and Saturn are in that house. And Pluto and Saturn represents restructuring. Saturn is old forms, old structures. Pluto is the transformation of them. Okay? Which again is another reason why there's so much anxiety. Okay? Because people have been programmed to believe that everything that is happening must be evil, must be bad, must be something inspired by hell itself. That is simply not true. Okay? That is the news media pumping your imagination with all kinds of fears and anxiety so that you will watch TV so that they'll get ads sold. All right? And I know that for some, they will say that, oh, that's not what's happening, okay? But if you really look at it closely and deep enough, you'll understand that there's something going on behind here that's been going on forever. And that is kind of the manipulation of the minds of the masses, okay? Well, this situation that's going on, that is releasing this fear, is putting responsibility for our lives back on ourselves. And there really is no way or nowhere you can go to avoid that. Okay? If this is causing you anxiety and fear, you have to address it. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. You have to own it. All right? You can't blame it on somebody else. All right? If you blame it on somebody else, you've given your power away again. Okay? You're thinking of, oh my goodness, this is horrible. Oh, what I saw on the news last night, the world's coming to an end, you know, and you're going to make yourself sick. Okay? So you have to be opening to looking at this much differently than the way that you're seeing on network news in particular. And I mentioned this the other day. I don't watch MSNBC or Fox. And I have deleted and unsubscribed from some of the old stuff that I was getting in my email because most of it is unsupported hooey. Okay? And I wanted to focus more. I felt I needed to focus more upon my own inner conscious growth and my relationship with my higher self, because that's what really mattered. Okay. Another thing here before I leave this particular image is that you'll notice that Eris, Donald Trump's Eris, squares Eris in the chart of the United States of America. So this was destined to be a very contentious relationship. Okay. And of course, it's something that we are seeing. Eris squaring Jupiter, conflict with, okay, other countries. Eris squaring Venus, conflict regarding women, okay, regarding reproductive rights, okay, things of this nature. All right, so let's go forward here a little bit here. This is still, oh, this is Elon Musk, okay? We're going to go to Elon Musk, okay? Now, keep in mind what I've just said about that Neptune in the 10th house of the chart of the United States of America, because it describes Donald Trump's destined effect upon the USA. Oddly enough, in the chart here of Elon Musk, we see something similar, although it's a little different. You can see Pluto here is in a wide conjunction, a semi-wide conjunction to the chart of the United States of America, the midheaven. Transformation, death and rebirth. Pluto is ruled by, or Scorpio, okay, Pluto rules Scorpio, the natural 8th house, other people's money, all right, power. We also have his Uranus in the 10th house of the United States of America. Pluto and Uranus, revolution, okay. Over here, Elon Musk's midheaven is conjunct both Venus and Jupiter. So he probably sees this entire process as very fortunate to him in regards to his purposes. And it may or may not be. He had 2 rockets blow up here, I think, in the last 10 days. But the point is here is that if you want to stay relatively mentally healthy, you need to be going within, disconnecting from your mental and emotional bodies in meditation, making a higher connection consciously with your higher self, and ditching all of the new speculation that is appealing to your fears and your imagination. There is no way around this. Okay? There will be no way around this. All right? You're either focused within for your own personal healing, your own personal conscious awakening, okay, to really understand what is going here, to learning to trust yourself again, learning to trust the universe, that what is happening is fully under the control of the universe, your higher self, to make that very plain to you, or you're going to be literally drugged into the mire, mentally and emotionally, through your imagination, by much of the stuff that is reported by news agencies, again, that are businesses. Okay? They may come across and say that we're doing this for the welfare of humanity and people in the United States of America, and that may be in part true. Okay? But the bottom line is if they can't pay their bills, if they can't draw in advertisers, all right, they go out of business. So that has to be a major concern when they come down to making decisions. They're not really interested in large part to the salvation of America. All right, and you notice that a lot of them have basically said, well, we give up. And they're giving in to Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and the same goes for a lot of corporations that are out there. Okay? This situation, this Pluto in Aquarius situation, is something that cannot be denied by the simple fact that it is astrologically Pluto going into Aquarius. It is an indication that in this time frame it is something that is preordained and predestined by the universe. Okay? And I know for those of you out there that are, depending on your level of understanding of astrology, when you talk about karma and fate and destiny, that it's a little bit hard to put your mind around that type of thing. But if you are fairly awake consciously, and if you are a meditator, and if you are knowledgeable about astrology, you already see how the connections are made. you would see that Neptune in Donald Trump's chart in the 10th house of the USA would describe his impact upon America. And Elon Musk the same way. And again, I mentioned this earlier about the midheaven. The midheaven could be off a few degrees. That Pluto could be closer to the midheaven of the USA chart, or it could be possibly a little further away, but it's still within orbit. It's still Pluto. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind because, like I said earlier when I began this video, nobody really knows exactly what time they signed the document. I believe that there was something that was passed down through history where records or something like that, or notes that were made, said that it was in the early evening before, dinner, something like that. So, again, something here in regards to Elon Musk. Eris down here opposes Saturn in the USA chart. Saturn in the 10th house would represent the structure of America. Okay, how America was built up, the business structure, the government structure, the education structure, all of these things, okay, are what we're talking about, this Saturn in the 10th house. And Eris, in opposition to it, is destroying those structures. And you can see that, the attacks upon, so to speak, the Department of Education and some of the other, factors in regard to the circumstances we're talking about. In Elon Musk's chart, his midheaven conjuncts both Venus and Jupiter. All right. This is kind of an indication that in regards to his purpose and plans and his desires, all right, that the USA would be open in some way, shape, or form to allowing him to affect it, which is the reason why Donald Trump, if you'll remember months ago, I did a chart showing that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have a very compatible chart between the two. Very compatible. Which is why, in some way, shape, or form, Donald Trump trusts Elon Musk. Probably because of money, okay? Probably because he owes him. But it would indicate that these two people could get along in the areas that mattered to both of them. Okay? And you'll see up here, here's Pluto conjuncting the midheaven. All right? And again, the beauty of astrology not only is in being able to show you what is happening to you, what the universe is doing to you, maybe in just your personal life or through a chart, a synastry chart, your relationships, or like this, the transits to a birth chart of a country and the impact of the energies, okay, upon you. At this particular time, we're talking about, Musk and Trump and their impact upon the United States of America as a country. And again, as I mentioned a little bit through midway of this particular video, the best thing that any of you can do to overcome the anxiety, the dread, and the fear is to learn to trust yourself, to learn to trust the universe, establish a relationship with yourself, with the universe, and come to the realization that what is going on has a higher purpose than just the politics involved in it. I firmly believe that we are going to see the end of politics as we know it, the end of the duality of politics. That to move forward, there has to be some kind of unification, some kind of a conscious awakening that causes humanity, that causes those who are in positions of power in the USA to say, oh my goodness, if we don't make these changes, we're going to destroy ourselves. Okay? And it could very well be that serious, We're talking about countries in Europe wanting to prepare for warfare or invasion. Poland, I believe, has set up something whereby all, basically, I don't know about all people, but all men are basically being called into active duty, okay, because they're afraid of what could happen, and they're afraid about what they're seeing happen in the United States. And there are those out there that probably are foreseeing and projecting the end of the world, this type of thing. There are also those out there that are saying that this is the prelude to a unification and a oneness on the planet, and that country borders will dissolve and that countries will work together more fluidly. Okay? We'll just have to see how that happens. But one of the things that I found about myself, and I'll say this about myself in regards to my growth as an astrologer, my spiritual growth and stuff, in dealing with, for example, Donald Trump, is that if an astrologer carries, let's say, fear within themselves that they haven't noticed, they haven't come to terms with, they will project that in their reading. Okay, in other words, they'll look at the one side of the situation that is more negative than the possibility that it could be positive, because they don't see the whole. They only see the half. And again, this is probably a weakness of everybody who does anything in regards to this type of work, is that you can be influenced. Fortunately for me, all along, I knew to say, don't turn your back on Donald Trump. There's something here. All right. And in my gut, I always knew that he was going to be a big deal. Okay. But I didn't like what I saw him do. I didn't like the way he behaved, you know. But the odd thing about that is that in meditation one day, I came to the awareness that I was judging him without knowing him, and that my judgments were based upon the beliefs and the information of others who had interacted with him. And that doesn't mean that those statements and circumstances were not true. But the problem becomes when you judge a person without knowing all the facts. And again, through the media and things of that nature, you're basically getting some truth and a lot of hearsay. Okay? And the worst damage is what it does to you, because it puts you in a negative framework, a fearful framework. And if you cannot shake that with a greater hope that all of this is working for a higher plan, you're going to dig a huge, miserable hole for yourself. And you don't want to go there. Okay? You don't want to get to that point. And again, this is why I say that I got basically rid of all of the network type stuff. Of course, to do the astrology, I have to be able to see certain things, but I minimize the pollution in my consciousness, okay, of watching news channels, information that comes through emails, okay, things like this. I only look at what I'm attracted to and what I feel I need to do a horoscope for my subscribers about. And again, if you are feeling bummed out, afraid, anxious, my recommendation to you would be do the same. Okay? Don't watch it. Okay? You can't control the future. The only thing you can control is yourself and how you view what's going on. And you have a choice. You can believe everything you hear and everything that people tell you. They can dump their anxiety and their fear into your lap and make you feel miserable. Or you can reach what's inside of yourself and grab a hold of the hope that the higher self brings to you. Okay? And again, this is essentially what I'm doing on Saturdays when I do these live streams. And I changed the name of it from the Astrology and Consciousness Support Group live stream to Wisdom for Those That Are Awakening, because I want to share with you what I have been taught by my higher self. I want to put in forms, other than just talking about that, in graphical imagery. I want to explain to you the structure, our conscious structure, okay? What we see beyond just our mind and our emotions and our imagination functions, and how we can either work with it or work against it. Okay? So if that's something that you're interested in and knowing a little bit more about higher self learning, or conscious knowledge is what I call it, come and join us for the live stream. It's every Saturday at 10 o'clock, and it's on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I broadcast on those three particular platforms. And I think that you'll enjoy the energy, you'll enjoy the communication, and you'll learn about yourself. You'll learn how to find out how to heal yourself, okay, and things of that nature. Okay, and another thing I'd like to bring to your attention, I mentioned this over and over again, over on the platform Substack, which is a writer's platform, I have 3 publications. One is called Wisdom for Those That Are Awakening, Trump and America, and Deep Thought Beyond Logic and Reasoning. Okay. CJ, my partner, has 2. One is called CJ's Whispers of Knowing and CJ's World. Okay. She is a brilliant writer, a gifted writer, and also a conscious channel. And we share what we're given by our guidance, okay, for those, our readers over there, that want to get into the nuts and bolts of their own conscious evolution and growth, okay, to take you beyond just your intuition, beyond just telepathy, into understanding what is going on inside of you and how you can take advantage of that knowledge to continue to evolve and grow. All right, so those are very important publications if that's something that you are ready for, I guess is the word that I would use. Okay, so Donald Trump, Elon Musk, fated, destined to have an impact on America by the placement of their planets in the 10th house, close to the 10th house of the United States of America. And the thing that we, and I'll say this again, the thing that we must overcome, and this is not easy to do in your mind and your emotions, is the belief that what is happening is all doom and gloom. Okay? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is through conscious revelations, through the assurance of your higher self and the guidance that those lower energy beliefs and ideas are not what the universe has got in plan for us all. Okay? All right. I think I'm done. And for those of you that are subscribers and members to the channel who've been with me for almost 8 years now, thank you so much for your support. For those of you that have been a part of the community and putting in comments and things, thank you. I know that all the changes I've been going through here probably caused you at times to scratch your head, but if there's one thing that is true, particularly when you're talking about conscious growth, is that things can happen, and when they do, they happen very quickly. And you have to decide whether you go back and stay where you were, or you move forward with new insight, new revelations, and new conscious knowledge. And again, this is what it is that I'm feeling that I'm supposed to be doing, is to be teaching those who are consciously waking up to understand the fundamental basics of how to continue to grow consciously in relationship to your higher self. Okay? All right. From the love of my life, CJ, my spiritual partner, my best friend, we thank all of you for your support and for your comments. And we look forward to sharing with you in this journey that we're on all the things that we see and that we are given in the hopes that they help you to come to terms with what is going on. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great week.